Have you ever looked at someone you've known your whole life, and suddenly they feel like a stranger? For 20-year-old Maya, that stranger was her own mother. Just weeks after the sudden death of her father, the man who was her hero, Maya was trying to find her footing in a world that felt empty. But while she was drowning in grief, her mother, Eleanor, seemed to be free. One afternoon, while searching for car keys in her mother's expensive handbag, Maya's fingers brushed against a small plastic baggie. Inside was a white powder. Her heart dropped. This single discovery began a terrifying journey into a world of secrets, lies, and danger, forcing Maya to question everything she thought she knew about her family, her father's legacy, and the woman she called Mom. Before we continue with Maya's story, we would love to know where you are watching from. Please let us know in the comments so we can bring more stories that you will love. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our upcoming stories. It means the world to us. Life in the New York City penthouse had always felt like a dream. Maya's father, Richard, was a brilliant businessman who had built his empire from nothing. He gave his family everything: luxury cars, designer clothes, and a life of comfort. He was Maya's rock, her inspiration. His sudden heart attack didn't just break her heart, it shattered her world. Her mother, Eleanor, however, was a puzzle. At the funeral, she wore a mask of sadness, but at home, the mask came off. There were no tears. There was just a strange, cold silence. Soon, she started receiving mysterious visitors at odd hours and taking hushed, panicked phone calls. She would come home with new, expensive things, but her eyes held a fear that Maya had never seen before. Then came the discovery in the purse. Maya's mind raced. Was this why her mother wasn't sad? Had she moved on to a darker, more dangerous lifestyle? Driven by a mix of anger and worry, Maya started to watch her mother closely. One evening, she followed Eleanor to a dimly lit parking garage. She watched from a distance as her mother handed a thick envelope to a terrifying-looking man with cold, dead eyes. The man's name, she would later learn, was Silas. He took the envelope, said something that made Eleanor flinch, and then drove off, leaving her mother shaking under the dim lights. Maya felt a wave of disappointment wash over her. It was all true. Her mother was involved in something illegal, something shameful. She was disrespecting her father's memory. That night, she decided she couldn't live with the lies anymore. She had to confront her. She waited for Eleanor to come home. The moment her mother walked through the door, Maya stood before her, holding the small baggie in her trembling hand. "How could you?" Maya's voice was barely a whisper, thick with pain. "How could you do this, Mom? Dad is gone, and you're doing this." Eleanor's calm expression finally broke. She looked at the packet, then at her daughter's tear-filled eyes, and she collapsed onto a nearby chair, burying her face in her hands. Her sobs were deep and raw. This was the grief Maya had been waiting to see, but it wasn't for her husband. It was for something else. "You don't understand, baby," Eleanor cried. "You don't understand anything." She got up and went to her late husband's office. From a locked drawer, she pulled out a hidden file and placed it on the table in front of Maya. "Look," she whispered. Maya opened the file. Inside were loan documents signed by her father. The lender's name was Silas. The amount was $2 million. Below the papers were printed out text messages, each one more threatening than the last. "The deadline is approaching, Richard. Don't make me come see your family. You owe me." "Your father's business was failing," Eleanor explained, her voice shaking. "He took a loan from Silas to save it. But Silas isn't a banker, Maya. He's a monster. The stress of his threats, the pressure, that's what caused his heart attack. He didn't just die, Maya. He was pushed." Maya stared at the papers, her world tilting on its axis. "Now," Eleanor continued, "the debt is mine. Silas told me I either work for him or he comes for you. The things I've been delivering, the money I give him, it's all to pay off a debt that isn't even mine. It's to keep you safe. I act strong, and I buy these stupid, expensive things, so his people, who are always watching, think that everything is normal. I'm not happy, Maya. I am terrified, every single second of every day." The mother looked at her daughter, her eyes pleading. "I'm not scared of being poor, Maya. I'm scared of losing you." In that moment, all of Maya's anger melted away, replaced by a fierce, protective love for her mother. They were not enemies. They were two women trapped in the same nightmare. But Maya was her father's daughter. She was not going to let this monster win. "No, Mom," Maya said, her voice now steady and clear. "We are not going to live in fear. We are going to fight back." For the first time in weeks, a spark of hope appeared in Eleanor's eyes. Maya, a criminology student, knew they couldn't just go to the police. Men like Silas had connections. They needed solid, undeniable proof. Together, mother and daughter formed a plan. Maya ordered a tiny, high-definition recording device online. It was small enough to be hidden in the button of a coat. The next time Silas called for a meeting, Eleanor was ready. Her heart was pounding, but as she looked at her daughter, she felt a strength she hadn't felt in months. At the meeting, she played her part perfectly. She acted scared and desperate. "Silas, I can't do this anymore," she said, her voice trembling. "You took my husband. Please, just leave us alone." Silas laughed, a cruel, ugly sound. "Your husband made a stupid mistake," he snarled. "And you will continue to pay for it. You will do exactly as I say, unless you want me to pay a little visit to your daughter at her university. I hear it's a beautiful campus." "Got it?" Maya whispered from a van parked nearby, where she was listening to the live audio feed. They had him. They didn't go to the local police. Maya sent the anonymous tip, along with the crystal-clear audio and video file, directly to the FBI's Organized Crime Division. She told them everything: the loan, the threats, the deliveries. The next few days were filled with anxiety. Then, one morning, it was all over the news. The FBI had conducted a massive raid, arresting Silas and his entire crew. The news report called him a predatory loan shark who had terrorized business owners for years. He was not getting out of prison for a very, very long time. 6 months later, the New York City skyline was a distant memory. The penthouse was sold to pay off the last of the legitimate debts. Maya and Eleanor now lived in a small, cozy house in a quiet suburban town. They didn't have much money, but they had something far more valuable. One sunny afternoon, They sat in their small garden, sipping tea. Eleanor was laughing at a story Maya told her about a college professor. It was a real, genuine laugh. The fear was gone from her eyes, replaced by peace. They had lost a fortune, but they had found each other again. They had walked through the fire together, and their bond, now forged in courage and love, was stronger than ever. They were free. So, that was the story of Maya and Eleanor and their fight for freedom. It makes you think, doesn't it? What would you have done in Maya's situation? After finding out the truth, would you have tried to run, or would you have fought back like she did? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonates with you, please do hit that subscribe button. It's completely free for you, but it helps us a lot to continue bringing you these stories. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.